Good evening and welcome to an entire program devoted to lefties losing it. I regret to inform you that the lefties are getting extra feral, and those within academia who have enabled, emboldened and relentlessly promoted radical left lunacy are getting a glimpse of the monster they've helped create. Watch as this activist student, decked out in a keffiyeh, spits on professors during her graduation ceremony at McGill University in Montreal. And did you notice the crowd cheering? It won't surprise you that ceremony was for the Faculty of Arts at McGill. Just imagine the lucky company they'll be hiring that young lass. Now from Canada to the White House, and let's hear from this dude who is old enough to know better. But sadly, there's no cure for chronic leftism. This is from a protest in DC.
It's armed resistance. That's what Hamas is doing. Stand with Hamas.
You're saying it's kind of armed resistance is the only way out. Is that to say that you support the attacks of October 7th?
I support, by any means necessary, what Hamas can do to resist the genocide of Israel. And the Jews. The Jews.
And you believe, again, specifically on October 7th, because it said that many civilians were attacked, not just military targets.
October 7th was a brilliant raid into Israel to resist and overthrow the oppression.
Wow.
The mask has slipped there. He's not just pretending to be anti-Israel, that is an out-and-out defender of rape, torture and slaughter of innocent people in the name of overthrowing so-called oppressors. As we've discussed many times on this program, these anti-Israel protests are really anti-West protests. They hate America, Australia and the UK just as much as they hate Israel. And when they talk about decolonisation, you should believe them.
They weren't raped. That's a lie. We established it was a lie. We saw the Israeli soldiers did to the women.
Do you condemn what Hamas has done?
No, I do not. I do not condemn your family. I support Hamas. That's when the rage comes out. I am Hamas.
That was also in DC, where we had violent mobs of far-left agitators desecrating monuments, burning the American flag, assaulting law enforcement. It all looked a bit insurrection-y to me. Did you see that idiot trying to burn an American flag and largely failing? But they did manage to cause widespread damage. Yep, that's a lone officer being pelted with bottles, trying in vain to protect a monument that is being destroyed as the violent fascist mob call him a fascist.
You fascist! You fascist! You fascist! You fascist! You fascist! You fascist!
Bless him, he was doing a little dance there for the lefties losing it, who managed to do a great deal of damage over several hours in DC. But don't worry, I'm sure the police chief will deal with it as soon as she finishes marching in the Pride Parade. That was DC Police Chief Pamela Smith at the Pride rally. I wonder if she hung around for the twerking competition. Yes, the family-friendly DC Pride rally had a twerking competition. Cover your eyes, kids.
Hey, baby.
Did you see the poor kid there and others in the crowd watching the sort of content you'd expect to see in a strip bar? The degeneracy is the point. Here is alleged comic Chelsea Handler, who thinks she can tell black folk how to vote. Here she talks about telling 50 Cent that he can't back Trump because he's black. I mean, this is so racist, so gross, so divorced from reality.
What does he do? Supporting Trump?
He says he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes, which, by the way, isn't a plan of Joe Biden's. That's a lie. So he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 cents to 20 cents. And I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath of people who may listen to him because he's worried about his own personal pocketbook. So I haven't heard back from him yet.
And here is another privileged, out-of-touch, far-left champagne socialist, The View's Sunny Hostin, who compares black Republicans to unicorns.
I thought it was interesting that the framing was a room of black Republicans. Where are they? Where are they? Because if you look at the stats, 81% of black men are part of the Democratic Party. Black voters consistently align with the Democratic Party. Over 95% of black women are part of the Democratic Party. So these black men that he was speaking with, I'd love to see them. It would be like looking at unicorns. Well, and so I think that the sad thing is, you know, I agree with you, Anna, is that this came from the mouth of a black man, right? And so if you're pandering yourself and your community and your history to a man like Donald Trump, who is a disgraced, one-term, twice impeached, convicted felon, we get to say now, is even more despicable in this country.
Now, the Biden administration has cancelled billions more in student debt. The total stands at $167 billion, that's US, with 1 in 10 student loan borrowers forgiven of their debts. But at least long-suffering taxpayers are getting value for their money. Let's look at what the kids are studying nowadays.
My concentration is environmental science and sustainable business.
Hi, my name is Lex, and my concentration is the performance of self.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle. My concentration is creative direction, production, and narrative through the arts, performance, and written word.
Hi, my name is Karina Gomez, and my concentration is in journalism and Latin American studies, with an emphasis in human rights, collective memory, and political violence.
Hi, my name is Reed, and I study music business and gender studies.
Hi, my name is Dominique, and I studied care politics with a minor in disability studies.
My name is Elliot Wright, and my concentration is art as a social mechanism.
Hi, I'm Georgia, and my concentration is dramatic writing and theatrical adaptation.
My name is Noah Loyacano, and my concentration is equilibrium or negotiated paradox.
Now, I'm not sure if those kids are going to join the unemployment queue or be tomorrow's tyrants in HR departments and big corporations. Who can tell?
Latin American women in visual culture.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Melanie. I'm studying the unseen body in creative spaces, erasure and exposure of the queer. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Nina, and I studied the arts, education, and social justice.
Yeah!
I'm Joyce. I studied decolonial intimacies, indigenous politics of resistance.
Yeah!
I'm Victoria, and I studied remembering or forgetting, navigating international conflict through collective memory.
Yeah!
Hi, I'm Iman, and I studied monstrosity, the subaltern praxis. Or should I say I created it?
Yeah!
Hi, I'm Nunyala. I'm studying living artfully, art as ritual therapy, and pathways of decoloniality.
Yeah!
I'm Naomi, and I'm studying Black political economy.
Yeah!
I'm Natalie, and I'm studying fashion history and gender studies.
Yeah!
I'm Jazz, and I studied phenomenological approaches to Black womanhood, specifically.
Have you ever considered that time itself could be transphobic? You better throw away your clocks, because this next lass claims that queer and trans people actually experience time completely differently.
Did you know that queer and trans people actually experience time completely differently to cishet people? It's a concept called queer temporality, and it basically has to do with the fact that historically, as queer and trans people, our lives have started much later and for a whole bunch of reasons ended earlier than our cishet counterparts. So as a result, our experience of time is compressed.
Ooh, wowee, there's a lot to unpack there. What else didn't we know about the passage of time? I could not be more fascinated.
Those milestones that we've been socialized to use to mark the passage of time, so things like marriage or having children or, working, retiring, inheritance, things like that, haven't been accessible to us. And that linear timeline has a name: heterochronology.
There you go, you learn something new every day. Didn't know queer folk were prevented from working and retiring. Now to Lefty losing it headquarters, MSNBC, which makes the crazy folk at CNN look calm and rational. Here's Adrian Elrod claiming that it's Trump foreign policy that folks need to fear, not the unholy mess Biden has made over the past 3.5 years.
And during these challenging times on the foreign policy front, on the global front, can you imagine having Donald Trump back in the White House trying to manage all of this? I mean, President Biden's a seasoned foreign policy pro. He served, of course, as the chair on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for a long time. He has these relationships with world leaders that go very, very deep. So we're going to be reinforcing the fact that that's an important attribute that the president has.
Yes, Adrian, I'm sure the American people are just terrified of Trump returning them to peace and prosperity, to 4 years of no new wars, of historic peace deals being struck between Israel and Muslim-majority nations. Somehow the Biden administration's profound weakness, emboldening the likes of China, Russia, Iran and North Korea, isn't making us safer. We're all shocked. Now back to Australia and the city of Melbourne in the great state of Victoria, where the leftist government has accrued record debt while pushing a relentlessly leftist agenda, and where feral far-left activists routinely block city roads for protests, and they're not shy about abusing police. Listen here as they taunt the retreating officers with things like, "Run, you son of a slut," and "you effing rats." Charming stuff.
Hey, yeah, run! Run, you son of a run, you dogs! You rats! You rats! You dogs! You rats! Dogs!
I've got to say, I do feel for the police working at the coalface. Their woke overlords in police command have taken a knee to this far-left lunacy, whether it's BLM or the climate protests or these anti-Israeli mobs. Time for some French folk losing it. The EU elections have just taken place and the results were shocking for lefties, with Europe swinging hard to the right, and some folk took the news better than others. If you want a clue as to why so much of Europe is swinging hard to right-wing parties that want to cut immigration and abandon net zero and other neo-Marxist nonsense, then look at these scenes from Nantes, where in France, where Antifa mobs break the windows of a building because it's flying the French flag. Yeah, I can't imagine why folks are rejecting socialist lunacy. Time now to visit lawless California, and here are folks achieving social justice in Los Angeles. Just kidding, they're just ransacking an AutoZone store.
stores just completely trashed. In an intense, crazy situation, there was a street takeover. The store was mobbed. The AutoZone, it ransacking, flipping that store upside down. We also see several people walking out with several pieces of merchandise.
Time now to check in on the leader of the free world. He is celebrating the made-up holiday Juneteenth, and of course he has no idea what is happening. We did not manipulate that footage to make the president look utterly lost and bewildered. That's all Joe. That's all natural. And it didn't get any better when he got up to dance, or try to. What's he doing with his hands? Again, that footage has not been in any way manipulated. It's not AI, it's not a deep fake. That's the leader of the free world. Not sure who the bearded dude is in the sequin dress who's dancing next to Mr. Kamala Harris's husband. But let's just watch a bit more of this. I don't wanna love nobody but you. For the rest of my life. All I wanna do is make you proud of me. Good news from Canada, where the king of performative caring, the neo-Marxist Ken Dole himself, Justin Trudeau, is floundering in the polls, and he's now lashing out at people rejecting far-left parties.
We have seen around the world a rise of populist right-wing forces in just about every democracy that we've seen. And it is of concern to see political parties choosing to instrumentalize anger, fear, division, anxiety.
So there you go. The swing to the right is all due to anger, fear, division and anxiety, precisely what Trudeau pushed with his hard left policies for the past 9 years. Never forget, this is the monster who falsely branded Canadian truckers as extremists and white supremacists and then froze their bank accounts. Adios, Fidel Jr. Now to the leader of the free world, whose cognitive decline is obvious, whether he is standing still, he's glitching there, or when he tries to utter a rehearsed sentence. Here he again mixes up Ukraine with Iraq.
The idea that we become semi-isolationists now, which some are talking about, I mean, the idea we had to wait all those months just to get the money for Iraq, and because we were waiting. I mean, it's not who we are.
Now, they say dogs are good judges of people, and we know Joe Biden has had some big issues with his dogs going rogue and biting various people. Maybe the poor dog was angry because the leader of the free world keeps pulling his tail. And it seems the president's issues with the canine community extend beyond his own dogs. Watch this based dog lose it when Biden appears on TV.
I don't know what kind of political status my dog is, right? There's Donald Trump. Do you see Donald Trump? Yeah.
With your help, we're going to win Nevada. We're going to defeat.
He's cool.
Your Biden-loving radical left senator.
Who is that? Who is that? Welcome to the war. I'm telling you. Molly, relax. Relax. This is Joe Biden. Wait up. She really doesn't like. She just saw him and she doesn't like him. Here we go. Joe Biden. Relax. She really doesn't like him. I don't know. I think my dog is a Republican. Relax, Molly. Relax, Molly. Relax, Molly. Molly!
Molly is a good dog. Molly deserves more treats. Now, there are a lot of lefties who are trying to rewrite history and memory hole the monstrous things they said and advocated for during the COVID era. And two such men are the Cuomo brothers, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and former CNN anchor Chris Cuomo, who got called out for this BS on the PBD podcast. Here he is with Dave Smith.
There was so much talk that they don't want you to take ivermectin. Ivermectin is the way to go. Take it. Joe Rogan got better from ivermectin. And by the way, I don't like what people did to Joe Rogan about ivermectin. I don't like
You did it.
No. Okay,
Yes, you did.
Find the clips.
Dude, find the clips. You shamed Joe Rogan.
Find the clips.
You said he's taking horse dewormer. You and Don Lemon were chuckling at each other about it.
No.
I'll go find
First
the
of all,
clip.
you just saw the clips.
I'm
not chuckling. I'm listening to Don. But
No. The clip I'm talking about wasn't on there, and it's absolutely there. Here, do we have it? Hold on. Let's play the clip.
Injecting drugs for animals and horse.
And people telling them to. Oh, my God. What person? You know, you talk about, like, cancel culture and who to shame. Ivermectin, a dewormer, really?
They are shaming themselves.
That's what it is.
They're shaming themselves.
So you're taking a dewormer right now.
Chris,
you can't apologize for that. You weren't being clear that it was this, and you know that, dude. You're being so dishonest right now, man.
Chris Cuomo is now telling us he's taking ivermectin. Okay, dude, when it actually mattered, you were a coward and a bully during the COVID era. Don't pretend to be red-pilled now. I regret to inform you that alleged comic Hannah Gadsby is at it again with this confused and painfully unfunny diatribe against men who think it's wrong for biological males to invade women's sport. They may not want their daughters disadvantaged in sporting events. They may not want a scholarship their loved one has worked years to achieve going to a male identifying as a female. Apparently these men must shut up to make miserable Mona Hannah happy.
I think it's adorable how so many men are all of a sudden very concerned about women's sport. That's new. That's real new. Like, the idea that men are transitioning to become women so they can dominate women's sports. Like, pick up all those amazing perks you get in women's sports. All those perks. Oh.
It may have escaped Hannah's attention, but there are actually great perks in women's sport, from the sense of achievement to scholarships, sponsorships, selection in sporting events, from local carnivals to the Olympics. It's worth remembering that this lefty losing it is loved by the humorless leftist media. Just look at the critics' ratings of her Netflix special, Nanette. It received 100%, but the audience score, as you can see there, is a pitiful 26%. Now to another unfunny comic who doesn't have a Netflix special, but she sure has abundant reserves of bile, bitterness and anti-Israeli hate. Here is far-left comic Sarah Bartello mocking Jews who are currently under attack by anti-Semites. Apparently, it's all their own fault. Talk about victim blaming.
ZVH, how can I help you? Yes, you've come through to the Zionist Victim Hotline. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you're feeling triggered and threatened, right? Well, it is on the rise, that's for sure. Can I ask, what was the incident? Really? A watermelon badge? These people have no shame. Yeah. No, it's a lot to deal with. Yeah, I can definitely empathise. Did you mention October 7? You did. That's great. That's good. Oh, they spoke about the 76 years of occupation. Interesting. They're really learning about the history that we've been trying so hard to cover up all these years, aren't they? Oh, okay. So here's what I think you should do. I think you should wear as many Star of Davids as you can. Yep, the same Star of David that we use to brandish Palestinian prisoners, amongst other things, and just call it anti-Semitic. Yeah, no, it works like a charm.
Gross. Now let's end on a positive note. Let's take a minute and admire a Christian man who politely and methodically schools a dude who questioned him about his Christian beliefs.
You said, I'm from Africa. You are surprised that we from Africa worship a white man.
Yes.
And I said, you Muslims colonize many countries and you impose Islam and a god from Arabia on those countries that you went. Allah was not known in Africa. It was known only in Arabia because it's Arabic language, right? The Jews never mention Allah in all their books. The best you can get close to is Elaha, which is not the same anyway. So the name Allah is not known by any of the previous prophets. It's a new name, and according to the Torah, we don't need to follow a God that is not known by our forefathers. Now, for you to say we Africans worship a white man, it shows you are ignorant. Why I'm saying you are ignorant, respectfully, is because Jesus is not from Europe. He's from Israel. They are not white people.
That's it for me tonight. I'll see you Sunday morning for Outsiders. Good night.